All right, now we can.
Okay, guys. I'm James. I'm living Cajazeiras, a small town, Paraíba. I am software engineer. I have since 2012, and I'm married. I have 3 kids. I like football, World Cup, and music. That's it.
All right. And what about you, Eduardo? Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. My name is Eduardo Carvalho Nunes. I am 30 years old. I was born in the Jacarezinho city. It's a small city of state Paraná. For now, I am living in Portugal. I came here in Portugal in 2018. I don't married and I don't have children yet. So in Portugal, I am working and studying. I work in the machine learning engineer and I take PhD informatics here in Portugal. So that's it.
All right. And what about you, Murilo?
Good evening, guys. My name is Murilo. I was born in Tubarão City, but I live in Laguna now. And I work as front-end developer since 2019. I'm here in TALKNTALK since I've been studying TALKNTALK since September this year. Yeah. 2 months. So yeah, that's it.
All right. And what about you, Waiter? Can you introduce yourself?
For sure. Hey guys, I'm Heitor, I'm 38. I'm living in São Paulo. I'm work as QA for a cashback company. And I have been working on IT since 2020. So I think I'm new in this kind of job. I love to learn new things, new languages, and learn some things that could help me to improve my skills. I think that.
All right. So I am Jean. I'm 19 years old. I live in Jardim Alegre, a small city of Paraná too. I work as backend developer and I study software engineering at the university. And right now I will start to study to an English certification, the IELTS. Because I'm here to learn English with all of you. That's it. So now we can start answering the questions. So Murilo, can you choose any question and choose some of us to answer?
Okay. Can be a first.
No problem.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, go. How old were you when you started using cell phones and computers? I guess that first time I used it, I did have 6 years, I think, or 98 year. I gift my first computer, yeah, Windows 98, and my cell phone is I did have the 14 years, yeah, and the brand of cell phone is Siemens, the Siemens MX60, and the Mark brand, yeah, and the model too. And yeah, that's it. I started early, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
Now you can choose someone of us to answer.
Okay. And Genemis.
I started using computers when I was 30 years old at my school. And cell phone is when I was 19 years old because I went to college and got home very, very late. How about you, Eduardo?
I didn't remember, but about the computer, I was elementary school. What my first time in the computer, I was elementary school. So after some months, my father bought a computer for me. So, but I did remember my years old. So about the cell phones, the first I started, I don't remember my years old, but I had Nokia, blue Nokia, the tijolão. So it's my first cell phone. So that's it. About the computers, I remember. I studied that courses, microlinks, typing courses, and introduction of computer, so on. So, but I was elementary school. About around 14 years ago, around.
And do you
That's
remember
it.
the operational system of your first
Yes.
computer?
My first computer, it was XP. But
Yeah.
in the school, it was some kernel from Linux.
Linux. Yeah.
Yes,
All the
it's
school is it.
but this computer in the school, it's all things it's blocked. It's blocked because about the only school courses, for example.
Yeah.
So about you, Heitor. Question number 1.
Okay. I start use computers in 1996. I gained a 486 from my father using with those and Win 3.11. Well, for these times was incredible to have a computer. And cell phones, I think I started to use when I was 18 because cell phone was so popular when I was teenager. Almost anyone have this kind of cell phones, but computer was very popular in these times.
What was the Windows? I don't understand.
3.11.
Oh, I never heard about this Windows before. I will
Yeah,
search about it.
it's very fun because when you start your computer, you start in DOS, Windows, and you have to type Win to enter in the Windows. Was very different.
It's
Today
different.
you start on Windows when you start your computer, so it's very different.
It's nice. I will search about. I never heard about these Windows before.
Don't lose your time. It's horrible.
But I would like to see the main page of the Windows, the main screen.
Okay.
And about me, I started using as Eduardo Windows XP and Linux at the computer school. I don't remember exactly the year, but I think maybe 28, maybe I think. So it's about 20 no, 14 years ago. And about smartphones, I don't remember. It's a Chinese smartphone. I don't remember exactly the brand, but yeah, it's a so bad smartphone, so hard to use. That was my first experience using this kind of technology. So that's it. So let's move on. Let me.
My first time using Linux was in the university. Yeah,
At the university.
I didn't know Linux until university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the school, we just used it to draw some images or to search something on internet. We cannot do more than that. Or to type something in a doc, all right, LibreOffice, I think. So it's not a good experience at the school, but right now we use more to at the work.
But for
Uh,
programming, for me, it's better. Yeah.
yeah, I used to
I
program.
like that.
Yeah, some point it's better, but I
But
use
in
the
LibreOffice, how you said, it's a
yeah
little
the
bad.
school. It's so blocked, we cannot do a lot of things like right now. So that's it. Let me choose one question here. uh, Question number 3. So Eduardo, can you start answering the question number 3? Why do you believe that older people tend to have more difficulties with technology than younger people?
Okay. For now, the older people, it's our grandparents, our parents. So when they were child, so they didn't have any technology. For example, computer or it's about this about the our technology is smartphone, computer, smartwatch, so on. It's a it's it is more is much new. For example, I I am 30 years old, right? When I was, I don't know, 10, I were 10 years old. I didn't have any computer or smartphone. So in the past, we studied on the notebook or read books and reading something. We went to go to the library. So the my opinion, uh, the other older people, they didn't have a student using about our computer or a smartphone, my opinion. So for example the children this year, for example, the next 2 years, they will play a smartphone. So for 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 them it's easy. Okay. So about the access for technology, my opinion, the other people didn't access this technology. My father, for
Yeah,
example, my father is it is she has so many difficulties the smartphone or the computer. But my uncle, for example, he is a advogado de lá. He is working a computer since when emerged the computer, for example. So for him it's easy, but my father, he didn't a computer, for my opinion.
yeah.
About the access to the technology when they were child, for example, my opinion.
Yeah, we start using this kind of devices when we
Yeah.
was kids or teenagers, but
Yes.
our parents start to use it when he or she was adults already. All right, and
Yes.
the kids that born today already have
Yes.
access to technology. So the kids born with a smartphone or a computer and start using so yearly. All right.
Yes. Uh,
And what about you? Do you wanna say something? Go ahead.
no, no. When I was child, unique technology is TV. So it's TV. So about can you continue? Okay.
And maybe a DVD player with
Yes. Yes.
some games. All right.
Yes.
And what about you, Genemis?
The elderly are not technology natives. Uh, the academic term for this would be digital natives.
Yeah.
So they have more difficulty using computers, smartphones, but uh, are very fluent in using radio, TV, and, and other technology for in your house. And you, Murilo?
Okay, I agree with everyone. In many times ago, and one time my grandfathers, for example, didn't have this technology, but in one time my parents, yeah, and it's already exists, but it's very expensive. Yeah, a little people can be have has this technology, and nowadays it's changing a lot, or change so much or babies who already was born with technology or one cell phone, yeah. And
Yeah,
oh a few years after this Barney Ernie one cell phone, for example, yeah.
yeah.
This,
Maybe go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, continues.
Maybe 20 or 30 years ago, we already had computers on our society, but it was so expensive, all right? And now it's easier to have
Yeah.
access to one computer.
Only
So,
Apple it's very expensive nowadays, but
yeah,
another
that's
brand
true.
it's facilitate to have this equipment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So, Heitor, can you choose? Everybody already have answered this question, right?
Not me yet.
So, go ahead.
In my opinion, it's easy to understand that because technology was belong to routine of the oldest. Maybe they could live in without any kind of technology. Maybe just a TV is the most technology thing in their days. And I don't know, maybe I have example in my home. My grandma have a cell phone and she's not able to use any function. She has just to have the feeling to have a cell phone and for emergency. So it's very fun because I think they would want to be part of this technology world. They don't know how to use that, but they want to have this
Yeah.
because it's, I don't know how to say that. They don't want to be excluidos, in my opinion. I think that.
Yes, and I have a good history. My grandma uh, bought a smartphone in this year, so she is 70 years old and don't know how to read, but she learn how to use the smartphone, use the WhatsApp. Of course, she cannot type. She sends just audios at the WhatsApp, for example. But it's funny that because she learned how to use a smartphone. Of course, not all the functions, but the main functions she learned how to use. That's a it's hard. I think it's hard to happen right now, but it's a good history that happened next to me with my grandma. That's it. So, Heitor, can you choose any question and ask to some of us?
For sure. Number 5. For you, are the technologies that emerge every day inclusive for older people? In my opinion, no. I think the new technology is just thinking the youngest people, and people they make some free market, if I can say like that, because with a new cell phone they can take better photos and publish in the social medias. Maybe these brands become more famous with that, but I don't think the oldest are the goal of the new this brand technology brands, in my opinion. And about you, Murilo?
Okay, I agree with you, but it has a lot of mobile apps that are good experience in user experience, yeah. And for example, accessibility or names of the menu or colors too helps a lot in some cases, yeah. And for example, Nubank is a good user experience for me, but because my mom using Nubank in FaceTime, we are already making a transfer using the Pix, yeah. And it's facilitating a lot, but I think that in the future it's improving a lot yet. That's it.
Yeah, you can choose someone to answer.
Ah, okay. And Eduardo.
I agree with you, but in my opinion, it depends on which field your area. For example, the healthy field. In my opinion, the technology is very important in this area, mainly other people to help in something. But in my opinion, I only see this area, healthy field, the technologies emerges, but another fields, how Heitor said, young and teenager people, in my opinion. About you, Jean?
I don't think so. I think the most of companies wanna make technologies who will buy it every new feature. All right. For example, iPhone. Every year, maybe the Apple uh, create a new technology, a new device that you can use with your iPhone. But for example, my grandma, he bought a smartphone, but she don't will buy more things to use with the smartphone. It's just a smartphone. And if a company create a new smartphone at the next year, my grandma will not buy it. All right. But the teenagers, for example, like to buy every smartphone that was created every year with new functions or gadgets to use with this kind of technology. So I think the companies focus the attention in this kind of people that will buy a lot of things. Other examples was Spotify or Netflix, that I think it's focused on the youngest people, not on the older people. And what about you, Murilo? What do you think?
What question?
Question number 6. No,
Ah,
number 5. Number 5.
Number 5 already answers before.
All right. Yeah. So waiter.
I start this question.
Okay.
So everybody already
Genemis.
answered. Genemis, I don't remember.
Not yet.
Yeah, I know that someone don't answer this.
Okay. I think technologies with voice commands and the IA is very inclusive. For example, Alexa, how to do this? Okay, Google is more inclusive. The social network are also very adaptive, easy is to use, and addictive for users. That's it.
So everybody already have answered, or Eduardo not?
Yes.
Everybody, all right.
Yes.
So now, Janemis, can you choose any question and someone to answer?
The question 2: did you have great difficulties using these technologies? Yes, at first class, were very boring. The topics were create a directory folder, renaming folder, deleting directory. I was afraid of doing something wrong and breaking the computer because it was too very expensive. In 2005 is very expensive, but I like it because the computer, it was close to science fiction, as I would get. How about you, Heitor?
Yeah, I have a lot of difficulties to use technology when I start, because we didn't have any course. We have to buy some magazines to learn about, and about some huge books to start to learn about programming and stuff like that. Everything was very difficult to learn, and it's pretty different of nowadays. Nowadays we have a lot of kind of courses and professionals. So if you don't like of a course of any professional, you can choose another one. And when I start to learn to use computers, was very difficult, because if you buy about a magazine, you have to follow this magazine until the end. So it was very difficult in that time.
Yes. In my case, as I start using the computer early than the smartphones, it was so hard, because as Janemi said, to create a folder and move the files to one folder then other, and to understand how a pen drive, I don't know how can I say it in English, but how to use a pen drive and transfer a file to one computer to another. So it was a good experience, and it becomes easier to understand how to use the smartphone. So I hadn't the same difficult learning how to use the smartphone than when I started using the Windows, for example, to using the Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel. It was hard at the beginning, but it helped a lot in how to understand how to use the smartphones. And what about you, Eduardo?
Question number 2, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yes. When I started in using these technologies, I had some difficulty, mainly typing the on the board. Yeah, it's a very the letters is sort letters in the board, for example. But I remember when I started my graduation, it's Linux operation system is it's was hard for me because the command line and so on. So yes, when I started, I had some difficulties, but for now it's more easy. Everybody answers the question or not?
Aye.
Murilo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You, Murilo.
Let's go. Okay. And in my case, I agree. I agree with Jean because when I started using cell phone, for example, smartphone, no, cell phone in the first time because a little or a few functionalities, a bit functionalities, yeah. And the computer, when I started computer was created, already many functionalities like such keyboard, mouse, and million functionalities in system operations, yeah, operational system, yeah, and the cell phone. When I started cell phone, I already play or game snake game or list of the contacts, yeah. It's a little functionals, for example, a few functionals. It's because then difference. That's it.
Yeah. Play pinball at the Windows XP was a nice experience. So I think now everybody already have answered. So Eduardo, can you
Yes.
choose one
Okay.
question?
Okay. Okay. Do you believe it? Do you believe? Cadê ela? Okay. Number 8. In your profession, is it common to see other people start their careers? For me, yes. Yes, in my job, because the all older people is obligated to use it, because there's some tools, for example, to plan your tasks in our job, the CEO or the CTO, other people. So yeah, then they would like to see the progress in the our mind work, for example. So some tools, they obligated them to learn to how to use this tool, for example. So yes, for me, it's common to see other people starting this some tools in my job, for example. Yeah, and about you, James, number 8.
In my case, it's not very common. The market is very competitive and I think it's restrictive for all the people. But I was teacher. Yes, and the academic is very common. People starting graduation is older is very common, but in technology, IT, it's not very common, but it exists.
Yeah.
For you, Murilo. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I will say that, for example, at the university, it's hard to find a person that it's a little older, old, and start an IT course. For example, in my classroom, we hadn't older people, for example, uh, and it's hard to find a people that start to programming. Uh, older and find a job. It's hard. It's not common, but it happened. We see some cases on the social media, and it happened. But it's more common older people that start working with IT when he or she was younger and keeping working with technology until right now. All right, but people that start working with technology right now, it's harder. It's hard to find. In my city, for example, or in my university, it's not a reality. In the other companies or other cities, I don't know, but at the social media, I I saw some cases. And Murilo, go ahead.
Yeah, smaller cities, for example, uh, older people tend the more difficulties in learning IT. Yeah, because then big cities, because big cities has a lot of information all the time. Yeah, all the places, and people tend and stay more I don't know, say that mais ligada all the time. Yeah, and in the future, it's a big difficult people's older people's can or achieve a new opportunity or a new position nowadays. But it has a lot of opportunities and start and consistent study a lot and depends, but it's a little difference, but depends the people too. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can choose someone.
That's when not answers yet.
Me? I'm
Okay.
not answer.
Okay. Can be.
I agree with you, Murilo. I think depend of the person. I know a lot of young people that was able to learn new things about technology. They refuse to study a lot. And I I know a lot of not old people, okay, like medium age, like 35, 14 years, start a IT career. I think have been more normal to see people like that. I start in IT career with 36 years. So in my opinion, I start a little late, but I think depend of the person, you have to have more force of will to learn, and you have to know, then you have to study a lot more than youngest, because the youngest have more, they learn more easily, they have more abilities, and they just born with technology things. So I think it's more difficult for oldest to start an IT career.
Yeah, that's true. So, Eduardo, do you know anyone who is digital illiterate? Do you believe this will decrease or increase in the future? Question number 4.
Okay. Yes, I know. For example, my mother, I think, because she doesn't use a smartphone, for example. She takes my father's smartphone to talk to me, and so, but digital literacy. I believe, for example, the poor region or poor city or poor countries, it, maybe there is more digitally illiterate because they don't access this simple smartphone or access internet, for example. So in these countries or in these cities, will decrease, for example, my opinion. But
Yeah.
it depends, né? It depends the city, depends the economics. So, for example, in Portugal, it's very common. All students, elementary school, the students, all students have a computer. The government give the computer for each children. I don't know in Brazil, it depends, né?
No.
So, so for example, in the during the pandemic COVID, all children have access to internet, have each children receive a computer laptop. So for me, it's very. I was surprised because each children have a laptop, for example. For me, it depends. Okay, it depends. But this topic is very complicated, in my opinion. And about you, Heitor?
Yeah, I think it's complicated because we have some people, they just know how to use a smart TV or smartphone.
Yeah.
We can consider that digitally illiterate. Maybe as if you are talking about how to develop something, how to work with IT.
Yeah.
But I think that little part of technology is what they can use in your routine. Okay, maybe for us they are digitally literate, but they don't. They just have a small information of what they use. But I think this will increase in the future because our children's already born and know everything about technology. My son learned how to use smartphone with 2 years. And I think when I was 2 years old, I was like a dump. I was able to use things like that. So this generation it's a lot of different of mind that generate actually. And for you, Murilo?
Yeah, and in my opinion, that the children's a few no, you see 17 years and 5 years, and in the future, a lot of people knows use the technology, but now a lot of people too doesn't work in technology yet. and it's a big gap yet in the future, but it's very common for 20 years and 20, 40 years. So people's adaptables a lot with technology. Yeah.
Yeah. In my case, I know some digital literate people in my family. I have other grandmother and grandfather who don't know how to use a computer, even a smartphone or a smart TV. Uh, and I think it will. It's hard to say if it will decrease or increase, but I think in the future we will have more people that know how to use smartphones, but I think the number of people who know how to use computers will don't grow, because right now we can do a lot of our basics how can I say it, our basics functions at the smartphone. All right, we can do basically all the things that we can do in our daily in a computer, in a smartphone. So I don't think people will learn how to use a computer if he or she can do everything on a smartphone. So I think in the future, more people will learn how to use smartphones, but we don't learn exactly how to use a computer. Maybe learn it just at the university to do some research, for example. But I think the most of people will learn more how to use smartphones than the computers in the future. That's it. So, Heitor, can you choose some question?
Sure. Well, I think we should go to the last one. Do you think that over time, older people will be more familiar with the use of new technologies? I don't know, maybe yes, because if you think about, we're gonna be the oldest in the future, and we already use the technology nowadays. Maybe we'll have some facilities to understand about that and to use that because it's part of our days. So I think the future we will be more technologies, we will be have more facilities to use that. I hope so, actually. And for you, Eduardo.
Yes, I agree with you. Depende which technology. For example, this about the software, for example, social media technologies. I don't, for example, I don't use the TikTok, so I use it I use Instagram a little. But I think that, for example, the rich countries, it's more easy, but the poor countries, it's more difficult, in my opinion. They have another topics to make, but that's it. Yes, and you, Murilo.
I agree with everyone. Make sure people stand you has more familiar with technology, because in the past people has a lot of difficulty, and every year people's was improving. Yeah. And nowadays it's a little common, depends of the place. Yeah, depends of the government, depends the countries. Yeah, accounts more development and accounts less development too. Yeah.
Yeah. It depends the price too.
The price, yeah, the price involve countries and all.
Yeah.
First,
Yeah,
first word or second word?
that's
Primeiro
true.
mundo.
And to me, I agree with Heitor. In the future, we will the older people. We will be the older people. So I think, as I said, some technologies I think will be more focused to learn as smartphones and the computers in some cases. But I think in the future, we'll be more familiar with these new technologies, and it will be more common see people using the newest technology that we have in the market. All right. So guys, unfortunately, we haven't more time to start answering the next question. But to end, I will share a survey link here. To you share your experience with this topic, if you like or dislike this topic, and to send a suggest to another topics to the next meeting. All right, you can share here, and I will prepare the material to talk about. I think that's it. So if you wanna have access to the questions before the meeting, you can find at the Talk and Talk website. And I hope see all of you at the next week to talk about technology. Again, all right, I will prepare a good material for the next meeting. That's it, guy. That's it. Good night for all of you.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
guys. See
See
you.
you.
See you next
Everyone,
week.
see you next week.